my father for some time out of the celebration. I appreciate it. Next, I want to talk to you guys about the boxes that are in your first period. Hopefully everybody was here in first period yesterday and got some boxes. I want to talk to you about the history of our relationship with the shelter over there. Share a couple of stories with some of the kids, some things that happened over the years, and then talk to you guys about what you guys can do. So the history started back with a sophomore in, sitting in the same chairs you guys are sitting in. Her name was Melissa Muir. It was probably about 8 years ago. It was about the second year I started teaching. And she came to me, and through her church, she was working with a shelter that we still work with right now. And she was not very happy with the way things were going down there because she saw the kids, and she said, there's a kid there with the shoes that were 2 sizes too small, and his feet were killing him and stuff like that. And she goes, Coach, I think there's something we can do. And I'd like to start a club. And she started it called the Getting to Know You Club. It's one of the worst names of any club of all time. But she started as the Getting to Know You Club, and then we got corporate sponsorship, and we started going with the Rotary Club and turned into the Interact Club. And through the generosity of the Rotary Club, it's kept us afloat. And so if you guys don't think that one person can accomplish something, then look at Melissa Muir. She was a sophomore. Most of you guys are older than sophomores sitting here staring at me right now. She was a sophomore that started this about 7 or 8 years ago. And think about the amount, of all the clothes that have been put in those boxes over the 8 years. Every single last sock and every single last shirt is a direct result of her vision and her passion. And so you guys can do things, So let's talk a little bit about the shelter. It's called the Transitional Living Center. It's through Salvation Army. And it is by no means referring to itself as a homeless shelter. It's not a homeless shelter. It's a transitional living shelter. It's for battered and abused women and children and who are in transition in their life who need some help. Again, not a homeless shelter, but most of these females come from cars and hotels. And, again, it's not a homeless shelter. But you do the math. If it wasn't for this shelter, they really wouldn't have anywhere to go. Most of these kids have seen some things that you shouldn't have to see. They've experienced some things you shouldn't have to experience. It is for battered women and children, so we're talking sexual abuse, we're talking physical abuse, we're talking neglect, emotional abuse, stuff like that. Things that no child should have to deal with. There's very, very strict guidelines. The mothers have to pass a drug test weekly. The mothers have to either have a job or be getting an interview on a monthly basis. It's a transitional living center. So they have to be working towards being able to be self-sufficient and some of the people that you're going to be asked to help. All right. Now, moving on. Those are a couple of stories. Moving on. What can you guys do? All right. You guys, hopefully, you already signed up for something. All right. You guys should have gotten that half sheet of paper that says, your name and the kid's name, that type of stuff, and answer some questions. Back in the day, because I've already had a lot of people ask me, can we put toys in the box? Everybody wants to be the rock star. Everybody wants to go and put a smile on the child's face, and hey, look, here's a little Elmo. And kid starts, laughing and giggling and all that type of stuff, and you feel really good about yourself. That's kind of not what position we're in. The very, very first year, back when Melissa did this, the very, very first year, it was a toy drive, and Melissa went and delivered the toys. You guys all feel good about yourself. Little kids are giggling and stuff like that. There's tons of toys. Everybody's happy at Christmas, and it goes good. And then the director and the mothers got together, and Melissa got together and said, it feels really good, but one of the moms says, I don't want to be unappreciative. I don't want to feel like like we don't appreciate what you guys did for us. The kids love the toys, but my kid doesn't have a jacket. Can you do something about that? And so that's when we got the idea and said, instead of the toys, let's do clothes. Let's do clothes instead. Let's be the boring aunt or the boring uncle that gets you socks and underwear for Christmas. All right? Everybody wants to be the rock star, put a smile on a child's face and make them feel all good for the holidays by putting toys in there. But really, we're going to be the boring aunt and uncle that gets you underwear. All right? That's it. So please try to keep it to toys, to clothes. If you want to bring toys in, go to Toys for Tots, and there's other organizations too. But we're about the clothes. We're about the necessities, the things that these kids need. All right. The last little kind of story I want to talk about is teachers. This is an old classic movie called Forrest Gump. Right. Some of you guys have seen Forrest Gump, right? To the teachers, it's still a relatively new movie. But to you kids, it's an old classic by now, right? So there's a couple of good quotes of Forrest Gump. One of the good quotes of Forrest Gump is, life is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get, whatever. And then there's also one that I like. I think it's great, but it never looks good. It was basically stupid is as stupid does. And I thought about that a little bit, put some thought into it with my brain, and I couldn't figure it out. I wasn't smart enough to do that, right? So stupid is and stupid does. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand what they're trying to say. I don't understand stupid is and stupid does. So then I started changing the words around a little bit, right? And as I changed the words around a little bit, I got up into good is as good does. And a light bulb went off in my head and said, I get it. I understand what that quote means. Good is as good does. Talks about intentions versus actions. All right, I'll tell you a little something about intentions versus actions. Okay? I want you to imagine yourself at the foul line right around here. All right, looking up at that hoop. Your team's down by 1 point. All right, you got 2 free throws, and the time has expired on the clock. Your intentions are to nail both those free throws, win by 1 point, and have a nice little celebration, right? But you don't, you break it and you miss both of them. Nice shot. All right? So what do you think your teammates are going to say when you walk into the locker room? They're going to say, hey, don't worry about it. At least your intentions were good. You know what I mean? We all intend to do stuff like that. All right? We all intend to succeed. When you put your name on that piece of paper and you signed up to bring in a sweatshirt, or you signed up to bring in some, some underwear or a jacket or something like that, every single one of you guys, and I believe this is why I love St. Paul so much, every single one of you guys in here, I believe in my heart, have good intentions. You're all good people. You really are. And I think you all have really, really good intentions. All right? But intentions don't win games. All right? Actions win games. Intentions don't put a jacket on the shoulders of these kids. All right? Actions do. And so when you put your name, and I'm not saying you have to, it's not for me or anybody anybody in this room to judge why you did not put your name on that list to sign up for something. We all come from different places, and we're all in different spots in life. You don't have to put your name. You do not have to sign up. But if you do, just come through. That's all. Just make sure that you are dependable. Make sure you turn your intentions, which are all good. Your hearts are all good. Make sure you turn your intentions into actions and do something about it. Be dependable. Put your name on the list and simply go and do something about it and bring it in. All right? So we are going to be collecting these boxes the last day of finals. That is Thursday, December 19th. When everybody else is partying and having a good time because you just finished your last final, period 6 final, and you can't wait to get off campus, there's going to be an army of Interact Club members that are going to be collecting these boxes, coming to this very gym, wrapping them up. A couple of people have already offered to donate their trucks. We're going to load them up in the back of the truck. We're going to take them over to the shelter. We're going to deliver them to the kids. So the very, very last time to put something in those boxes is when the tape starts going on, when we start wrapping them up. So please make sure, all the way up, I know you're period 1, final is on Tuesday, but we're not going to be taking the boxes out of your period 1 class until Thursday. All right? So you have up until we start wrapping these boxes to get those clothes in. If you have any questions, hunt me down, try and see me. But again, Merry Christmas. Remember what the whole season is about. And the last message, again, is to make sure that you turn your good intentions and your good hearts that you guys all have into actions. And put some clothes on these kids' bodies.